let's just cut to the chase and get to the big thing about the chapter, which is Elsie got stabbed by Ziggy. And honestly, when I first heard about this in the leaked spoilers, I, like I'm sure so many others, kind of had a raised eyebrow moment at this, like, and just asking what's going on here? How's this going to play out? Of course, now that I have read the chapter and seen the context of what leads up to that moment, my thoughts on Elsie getting stabbed and what happened and the events leading up to it are kind of complicated, because basically what happens here is that Ziggy was using the tried and true method of getting Elsie to lower her guard. Was getting Elsie to lower her guard. And honestly, just from how the fight is choreographed, with Elsie overpowering and unloading everything on Ziggy in this chapter, you can tell right away immediately that Ziggy is the one controlling the flow of the fight. Again, he's letting her attack him. He wants her to, in order to expend her power, in order to get her to lower her guard. Like he purposely let himself get hit by all her attacks on purpose, luring Elsie into that position where he can land the fatal stabbing blow. Now, so in that sense, the chapter does work. So in that sense, it does work. Now, where the complication comes in is Elsie's hesitation to Ziggy playing possum, and assumingly pretending to have returned to his old self. And it's one of those things where it works because of the history Elsie shares with Ziggy. Like, we know that any feelings that Elsie has about killing him are going to also come with the baggage and the hesitation of just whether or not looking back on her history and just like hesitating in order to kill her father, even if killing the one who helped her, even though she doesn't want to. With that said, though, it felt like it's one of those things as well where it felt like Elsie fell for the trap a little too easily. Like, I don't know how to properly describe it, but the whole scene of Elsie standing over Ziggy and the way it was staged, it didn't feel right. Almost like there was a piece missing for her hesitation to land the killing blow and getting stabbed by Ziggy to work on the emotional level that I'm assuming Mashima wanted. But something about Elsie getting stabbed just feels underwhelming. Like, again, there's a piece here. It feels like when Mashima had storyboarded this, it felt like he did it. It felt like there was a piece missing, from the moment of her getting stabbed. It felt that in order to bridge the gap or something. I don't know. Like, it feels like something's missing in this moment right now. I just don't know what it is. Now, with that said, let's talk about Ziggy's memories for a minute, because he says the kind of person he was back then was not the real him, and now that he has regained his memories, he regrets ever raising Elsie or Shiki because of Shiki because of Shiki being the one who will destroy the universe. And I've seen a lot of people theorize that Ziggy could in fact be a future version of Shiki, like a version of him who became all machine. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past Mushroom to do something like that, considering how Shiki is already on track to becoming part machine, part machine since the Aoi War, like with him getting a mechanical eye and whatnot. But if this is in fact the case, then it just kind of raises the question even more of just what kind of memories are locked away within Hermit and Ivory, and even more so, are they even going to be the same people they've been up to this point, or will they in some way or another end up turning out exactly like Ziggy because of what they know? Like, it's one of those things where the more you think about these missing memories, the more you realize it kind of turns Hermit and Ivory into potential ticking time bombs. And granted, it could just as easily go the route where nothing fundamentally changes about them, and the only thing that does come from it is they gained the knowledge to defeat Ziggy. But again, just that uncertainty of not knowing which way this could go with the remaining starshines, like in the event where they regain their memories, kind of makes things a little frightening. Honestly, like that in itself. Though, also, like that in itself as well, though, begs the question of where Pino herself fits into this equation, because Mashima was largely kept her on the back burner throughout the series, and it's only now I'm starting to realize how intentional that is, because I feel like more and more we're kind of getting closer to what Pino being the Light of Edens is supposed to mean, especially with this whole idea of what's going to happen what's possibly going to happen when these memories do end up returning. Like it's like there's so many kind of uncertainties and factors into this whole situation now that just kind of has me like worried for what exactly is going to happen to like is going to happen here. Like it just I don't think I'm ever going to be ready for that point where the memories finally do get unlocked. But yeah, with that said, the only other thing to take note of though is this chapter is that we get a brief moment of Shiki's group fighting through some enemies and making their way to the planet's core. But the interesting thing about that moment is Homura's warning that there's likely to be more enemies waiting for them in the core. And honestly, like going back to what I said before about the whole thing with Ziggy kind of reaffirming that Shiki is the one who will destroy the universe, I think Homura might be underselling the threat a bit, because knowing Mashima, I think that warning is his way of saying there's going to be more than robot sentries waiting for them down in the core. Like, I'm saying Shiki and his crew are either going to clash with the Dark Stars, Aknoella, or both. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, but if by chance we do in fact see Aknoella guarding the core, because the interesting thing is that Mashima has been repeating himself through Ziggy of this whole thing that Shiki is going to be the one to destroy this universe. And I feel that with the crew having reached the core now, it is reaching that point where he has to give us something in regards to what exactly Ziggy means when he says that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had told Aknoella what exactly that means. So, and Aknoella can in fact use that in order to provoke Shiki and the others in some way. Like I feel that's kind of what's I feel that's kind of a case of what we're going to be seeing here, and honestly, and why this is. But honestly, just the whole setup in itself, whether Aknoella is waiting for them down there or not, just like the setup in itself just feels like the perfect moment in order for Mashima to finally give us some answers to the question of what Ziggy means when he says all this about Shiki. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.